what a cool way to share what we've been up to as far as ministry is concerned. This is the first time I've had a go at doing this, but I want to tell you that we're really excited about being in the Bay of Plenty. We've been here, I've been here since February, and so it's 8 months has gone by, and in that time, I had a couple of months without Vicky. She arrived here 2 months later. That was good to have her on board, and we purchased a house. We did some work in the house. We painted the whole inside of it. We did some work in the bathroom and the toilet and the kitchen, and now we're sort of starting to settle in. Now Vicky's got a job working for KVH, which is Kiwi Vine Health, because they're having a real major problem with the kiwi vines dying here because of a bug that it's got, and so she's working there, getting a bit of income that's helping to keep the ministry going here, which is great. And also what I've been doing is I've been running seminars around different churches and on evangelism, teaching people, equipping them in evangelism. And I've also had the opportunity of working with Evangelism Strategies International, that's Julian Batchelor, been involved with 4 of his seminars as well on top of this. Had a couple of opportunities to share in some of the local churches, preach in the local churches, which has been really good. Even did a little, had an opportunity to go to the South Island, did some ministry in Nelson and Greymouth, again working with 2 little Baptist churches down there, having an opportunity to run some training material or a seminar on evangelism, which was pretty cool. As far as going out there and doing evangelism, there's been really neat things happen. I've been involved with different groups around the place in evangelism, done some door-to-door visitation, which has been really exciting. Had a go at doing some in my street, which was interesting. I went to one of the doors, and the first one I went to, the lady said, "Nah, not interested." I was feeling pretty discouraged, but I went to the next door and met a man called Mandeep, and he was really, really open. Got to share with him and pray with him. I went back the next day, met his wife. She was a bit negative at first, but within 5 minutes she was really quite open as well. And since then I've been back again and had another opportunity to speak into their lives, share the Christian message with them, and have an opportunity to pray with Mandeep, which has been really cool. Another thing that happened recently, which was quite exciting, was I was hitchhiking, and I was on my way to see Vicky, and I was heading from Te Puke to the Mount Maunganui, and a guy picked me up, and within a few moments he was sharing the Christian message with me, which was a bit of a change, because usually it would have been me sharing with him. And then at the end of his presentation, I told him I was a Christian, and he was really excited, and he told me that he'd become a Christian through the ministry of OAC Ministries around somewhere between 1982 and 1984 in Manus Plaza. Now that was really excited me, because I was probably there the night that he made a response to the Lord, because I used to go down there regularly at that time, and so that was very, very encouraging. I was able to encourage him and send him on his way rejoicing, which was really, really cool. Part of what I've been involved with, or I'm involved with at the moment, is putting together a strategy to try and get as many Christians as possible around the country visiting homes and dropping in a DVD, a copy of www.biblein11.com, which is an 11-minute presentation of the Christian message, very well done. And at the moment there's been a number of people that have been going out and knocking on doors in the Te Puke area. The Presbyterian minister's been one of those, which has been really exciting. He's had well over 50 or 60 contacts now, and last Wednesday had the opportunity to share the Bible in 11 with a couple of Indian men, and both of them responded to the gospel. He was really excited, sent me an email, got to talk to him. He said it's so cool getting outside the 4 walls of the church and sharing the Christian message out there in the community. He said it's like being like Jesus out in the community, get to pray for people that are sick, and all sorts of amazing things happen. So that's been encouraging. He's also asked me to come and speak at his church on the 16th of October, which is really encouraging as well. So yeah, in relationship to what's coming up, part of what's happening shortly is we're having another DNA conference, changing your church to give it a DNA of evangelism. And this is one of the ones that Evangelism Strategies International has been promoting, and that's coming up, and I get an opportunity to be part of that. I'll be taking a section of that, and that'll be really cool. That's happening at the Bethlehem Community Church in Moffat Road in Tauranga, which is cool. Julian Batchelor will be there, and that's always exciting to listen to him sharing bits and pieces, which is cool. For Vicky and I, we've been, slowly starting to get a breath after all that's happened. We're at the moment, in regard to prayer, we would value prayer for our family. Our son Robbie's just been with us. He's headed over to France. Really ask that you'd pray for him. I really need prayer for all of my children, but especially for Rob as he travels around the world, that God's hand will be upon him, and that there would be a real sense of God speaking into his life. And then there's Rebecca and Wade down in Palmerston North. Rebecca's my daughter and Wade's my son-in-law, and both of them have just shifted house at the moment. Really, they need protection and prayer as well, and as well as Mark, my youngest son, who's in Hamilton, and Vicky, my wife Vicky. Sometimes often I neglect her. She's an amazing woman. She's put up with me for nearly 30 years. It'll be 30 years July next year that we've been married, and that's really exciting. We're wanting to renew our vows. Maybe some of you that are watching this might get a bit of an invite to come and be part of that. But I ask you to pray for Vicky as well, that you would just that she would just know God's protection upon her life. When you're involved in evangelism and any kind of ministry, there is spiritual attack. In regard to finances, we're kind of scraping along there. We really do need more sponsors. That would be really cool if there's anybody out there that's interested in being part of this ministry. That'd be really great. We have survived, which is really cool, and we thank the Lord for that. It's great to have Vicky bringing in some income, which is helping things to move along. In regard to what's happening around the corner, in regard to next year, the goal for me is to personally is to really get to a place in ministry where we've got a good group of people around us. There's a couple of possibilities of 2 guys coming next year to help out in the ministry, and it'll be cool if you could pray for that as well. We still need to find an office, because at the moment still working from home, but it's obviously a lot cheaper doing that, and at the moment that's quite a practical thing to do. But yeah, the goal that I have at the moment that I feel like God's put on my heart is that we have this amazing opportunity to reach out into the community with the Christian message, and we've got some really good tools to do that, and hopefully over the next 12 months we're going to be able to have a real impact in the community in the Bay of Plenty area. So yeah, just finish with one last little story. Is we went out fishing. We got this little dinghy and we went out fishing the other day, and it's got a little outboard on it, and as we were heading out, I was with a couple of guys and myself. We went out, and there was a really drunk Māori lady, and she was struggling on the side of in her boat, and she'd had a few cans of beer, and I was kind of, she was calling over, come and give me some help, and the guys that I was with really weren't keen to go and help her. I really felt, what would Jesus do? And I thought he would go and help her. So we went over and we had a talk to her, and she was really finding it hard to sort of communicate with us. But she asked us whether we would tow her boat like 500 metres up this river. And so I said, okay, yeah, we'll do it. We towed her up, and I got to, tell her I was a Christian and shared a few little basic things with her. And we got all the way up there, and on the way back, the 2 guys that I was with was a little bit negative, and they're going, oh, yeah, I guess they felt that it was like a bit of a waste of time. But I said to them, you know what? I said, that lady there, no one would help her. I don't think there'd be anyone that would actually give her help. I said, but we didn't, and we did it really because that's what Jesus would do. And I said, I reckon Jesus will reward us with a decent-sized fish. That was kind of a bit of tongue in cheek, really. But we got out of the river mouth and onto the edge of the sea, and I put my line in and caught a 5 pound snapper. It was so incredible, and the guys that were with us had their eyes just kind of wide open like this, so it was really encouraging. But the thing that's really on my heart is not to be catching fish, but like Jesus said, that we're called to be fishers of people, and the ministry of OAC to the Bay of Plenty is an important one, and I think God has put us here at a very crucial time. So I do value your prayers, and I value if you've managed to watch this YouTube clip all the way through. Thanks for sticking in with us. So God bless you, and we'll contact you again at another time. Thanks. Bye bye.